In this video, I just wanted to go over how I use stockcharts.com to decide whether or not to buy a stock or see how a stock is trending, or when to sell a stock. So I've got two screens here. They both have are the home page for stockcharts.com. So right here under this sharp chart I'm going to put in the symbol VOO. I like to use the Vanguard S&P 500 ETF. It's kind of a way to track the stock market overall. There's a lot of banners come up because I've got a free version, so these will be popping up all the time. Okay, so this is where we come up with. These are just the same chart. I'm gonna have the settings different for each one, so let's start with the one on the left. Alright, so what I like to do is set the Keltner channels. This number right here. I'm not going to go into detail with any of these different overlays or indicators. You can always go in and research those more on your own. I'm going to go to the full stochastics. I changed, I used this first parameter. I just changed the second one to a 2. Or first one is 1, second one's 2. And you'll see that in the graphs up here. It's almost like Bollinger Bands. It's similar, but a little bit different. All right. Then I like to use the True Strength Index and the full stochastics and then the RSI. So let's take a look at our updated chart now. Okay, this is what it looks like. So we've got the RSI up here. And down here in the main graph here, you've got the, here, let me turn this inspect off. That's that line you were seeing there. Here you have the two Keltners, which are the blue ones on the inside and then the red ones. And then we have the, on the bottom here, the full stochastics and then the TSI. So what I want to see here, oh, actually, let's set up the other chart now on the right here. Let's do the same thing. VOO. But on this one, I'm going to use some different parameters. I'm going to, instead of using the candlesticks, I'm going to go down to the Heikin Ashi. Then I'm going to use for the overlays, I'm going to use exponential moving averages. So I'm going to use the 8-day 21. Again, this is not investing advice or anything. I'm just showing you what how I use these this program. Let's see here. I want to use the stochastic RSI, and then I want to use the PMO. These are just indicators I've learned over the years. I kind of like to watch and I track. Okay, so that's everything. Let's update that and see what we have. Okay, so here's VOO on two different charts. On the one on the right, we have the stochastic RSI. Then here in the middle, we have the two lines. The blue one is the exponential moving average, 8-day, and here's the 21 is the red line. And then down here, we have the PMO and the PPO. Like anything else, you can, on stock charts, you can look any of these up and they'll teach you about what they all mean. Okay, so let's take a look at some things that have happened in VOO, and how I like to look at the chart. When I see on the left chart here, when I see the lines all going upward, that's an upward trend. I like to, in those cases, look at buy points, and you can see how it's starting to trend downward, and you see the prices coming down. Okay, here, this part here, we have horizontal kind of consolidation, and then here you can see we have the downward trend. So in these cases I would hope to sell somewhere near here and near the top. So let's take a look at that first. At what point is the stock telling us it's a good time to sell? So I'm going to put this inspect line back up here. Inspect. It gives us this grid. Okay, so if I wanted to catch this stock and to sell it before it started tanking down here, what kind of things do we have? Usually the RSI would be near 70, right? And here you see it never got that high. So I'll put it right here about where the trend started downward. You can see right here in the stochastics, where the black line crossed over down below the red. That's one indicator right there. And the same thing happened just a little bit later here with the TSI. You can see that I'm putting it right on this red indicator here. You can see right about there that the TSI went down. So the full stochastic gave you a little bit more warning than the TSI line. And you can see also the downward slope of the lines of the graph here. The RSI really didn't give us any kind of clue that it was overbought. So the date here, you can see if I put it right on that candlestick, is September 20th. So let's move to the right side screen. Let's see on that same date what we have on these charts. Okay, so on the top one, we can see the RSI is already September 20th, right here. You can see the RSI is already gone down below. It was green, then it trended down. So by the 20th, it was you can see the downtrend. Here in the Heikin Ashis, the candlesticks here, you can see the red. Okay. So as soon as we had the red start to go down 2 in a row, that's a very good indicator. And then we also saw on the last 2 charts on the bottom here, the crossovers downward. You can see, right here, September 20th, the black line went below the red, and also here on the PMO. So there were some clues. Okay, so when was a good time to pick the stock back up again? Well, right here on October 6th, you see this large white candlestick. You can see that the price started to rise again, and it came up here and it touched the blue Keltner line up here. And that's your resistance. And it kept touching it, and then it came back down. But down here, you can see that it followed the red Keltner line all the way to here, and then it started going upward. So on October 6th, see if there's any indications you can see here. October 6th on the full stochastic, you can see that was just right where the black line went above the red on the full stochastics, right here. And the same thing, you see the inverted chart on the TSI. Also, the black line went above the red. So let's take a look on the chart on the right on October 6th, see what else we can see. Okay, you can see clearly up here on the stochastic RSI that the price went from down below in the red here to the upward to green very quickly. Okay, you can also see right here, this is what the Heikin Ashi, how I read it. First you get this doji right here on October 5th, this black doji right here. When you had all these reds and then you got a black one. You had the same thing here too. You had a black doji candlestick and then you had a white, but then it continued down again. And this time, the second time it happened here, it went back up for a bit. So what happened here? October 6th, you can see the PPO crossed over right here. Okay, the PMO didn't quite. It was a little bit behind. So in combination, what we saw on the left graph here with these crossovers and the large white candlestick, and then coming off the 30 RSI. These are all kind of clues that the stock was going to go up. So let's take a look what happened next. We had I'm going to follow this chart on the right, the dojis. Right here, we got a red one. Then we had a white candlestick, and then we had another doji. And then that was followed by this red one. So right here is where we had the downward change to the chart. So let's see what happened there on October 18th. So on the stochastic RSI, you can see that the chart started going downward right there on October 18th. Okay, we already saw the candlestick here after the red doji, and then it went down. Okay, the PMO, you can see that the black, maybe a couple days later, crossed downward here. So it was lagging a little bit of a lagging indicator. Same thing with the PPO right here. It lagged a little bit, but then it did show that it went down. And you can kind of see that the on the histogram, it went up near the peak, and then it started coming down again. So it was already giving you a clue that there was going to be a change. So let's take a look at the chart on the left, what happened on October 18th. See if there's any more indicators that could have told us the stock was coming down. You can see the RSI was starting to drop downward again. You could see the day before, on the 17th, you can see the candlestick just touched the upper blue Keltner. So it was hitting some resistance right there, and then it came down the next day with the red candlestick. And then you can clearly see on the 18th, there was a crossover on the full stochastic where the black went below the red curve. And a little bit of a delayed signal here on the TSI. So what I try to do is, if there's significant indicators that saying the direction is one way or the other, I'll follow it and maybe make a move until it's verified. Maybe a few days of, say, going upward, then you're kind of verified that there is a change. So let's take a look what happened next. Here, on October 27th, where you can see it was the candlesticks were following the red Keltner downward, and then it hit. Here was the lowest point right here, and it started going up the next day. That was October 30th. Okay, so on the 27th of October, just the day before, you can see that's the last red candlestick. You can see in the RSI on the top that we hit 30. So that's the overbought signal right there. Okay, let's take a look at the charts below. You can see the crossover occurred right there at the same time on the 27th, and then the 30th it was verified where the black went over the red. Okay, let's take a look on the last TSI. That wasn't confirmed until November 1st, so a couple days later. Let's take a look at the chart on the right. On October 27th, right here, you can see how the RSI started going up from the red. It's 27, 30th, it was definitely going upward, and then it was into the green by November 1st. Okay, let's take a look at the Heikin Ashi. So we were red, then we hit this black doji right here. That's just a candlestick with the wick above and below, almost equivalent, which was followed by a white candlestick. So that's your first clue that the chart is going to change upward to a positive. And then we saw down here the black line crossing over the red on the PMO. That occurred on November 2nd. Okay, so a little bit delayed, and then the same between November 1st and November 2nd on the PPO. You saw the same thing. So you had a lot of indicators telling you that the price action was probably going to be positive from that point. and then it continued upwards, and it's still going to right now. So the VU from the S&P, as everybody knows, it's been going up quite a bit here ever since the end of October. So my next question is, okay, at what point is it going to maybe be overbought? We're already in the overbought region here with the RSI. We're at 73. We're way above the red Keltner line. The full stochastics kind of peeking over. The TSI, they're equivalent right now. There's been no crossover. So everything seems steady state right now in those charts. On the over here, you can see the RSI, stochastic RSI dropped down from the green, but then it came back up again. So it never really went down to the red area recently. It did at this point back here. But I probably wouldn't have made a move here on December 5th because we still had the blue line, moving average, 8-day, was still well above the 21-day. And also there, let's trying to hold it steady here. You can see the PMO, still there was no crossover. And the PPO was the lines are running together here on the bottom chart, so there wasn't any crossover with the black line below. So I probably wouldn't have made any moves there. Let's take a look. That was December 5th. Let's take a look over here on the left chart. December 5th. That's where this is where we had this point right here on the stochastic RSI. So let's see what happened December 5th on the chart on the left. We dropped down a little bit below the 70 RSI. Candlesticks. The graphs, both lines were still going upward, so we're in a definite strong upward trend. We did have the black line drop below here, below the red. It was only temporary, and then the TSI was still together, and then the black line continued above the red. So there wasn't a real strong indicator anywhere that the prices were going to flip and change. So I probably wouldn't have made any moves. But what I'm waiting for is for the stochastic RSI to get back up here into the green. RSI is still very high over here on the left chart. Everything's trending upward. I don't see anything right now that's showing that there's going to be any kind of price drop. First clue would be a doji, like this black one here, like this one here, like this one here. And when we see that, and then followed by a white candlestick, or a red candlestick in that case, then we might want to start thinking about the price maybe dropping. But right now, everything looks like the stocks are all going up. Again, this is just for entertainment purposes. Do your own research, and I'm just showing you how I check and use these indicators with the stockcharts.com. All right, please like and subscribe if you've learned anything, if you found this helpful. Thank you very much.